Do you ever just like wake up in the morning with like, does that song pop up in your head, or do you have to consciously say, I'm gonna have Sunshine pop up by One Republic in my head?
I think it just consciously pops up in my head, honestly. Because like I love starting the day off with positive, good vibes anyway. So that
Yeah.
song is like, oh, this is perfect. And it's Sunshine. That's the title of it. Yeah, it's good
Well,
stuff.
I know, I was looking at the lyrics, I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's a cute little ditty," and, and so that's why when I was, like, coming up with, for us, like, "Oh, let me look at lyrics." Now there are some songs, like, someone gave me a Led Zeppelin song, and I was like, "Uh-oh."
Oh,
If you've ever listened to Led Zeppelin, some of their lyrics is not LinkedIn friendly, and, and you're just kinda like, "Okay, well, I mean, the song is great, but don't know if I can publish those lyrics." I mean, I
yeah,
guess I could. It would just maybe give the impression that our conversations can be something wildly different than what it is.
right.
Maybe I'll do it for just to be sensationalist one day. I don't know. I don't know. But Tisha, are you ready? Are
I
you
am
ready for the
ready.
mic is listening?
I am ready for the mic is listening. Let's bring it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic is
The
listening.
mic is
The
listening.
mic
The mic
is
is
The
listening.
mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
The mic is listening.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the mic is listening. Happy Wednesday. And as always, what a great week. I love doing Wednesday live streams because it's like the middle of the week and either your energy is starting to ebb, or maybe if you're like me, where you get excited for Thursday and Friday, your excitement level goes up. But either way, I hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. And I want to talk about some things that, we're celebrating. And I just want to give a quick little shout out. So Tracy Oswald is one of our clients, and she just celebrated a belated 1 year anniversary to her podcast, Defending Lady Macbeth. So, full disclosure, my company does produce her podcast. And of course, damn it, it's the best podcast ever. So, you should listen to it. Tracy is an extraordinarily experienced host in general, broadcaster. For those that might have known her from Local IQ, etc. She's just got one of those like great personalities and voices. You will be like, I'm telling you, you will miss her voice when she's off the air. So check out Defending Lady Macbeth. Congratulations, Tracy Oswald. I'm very proud of you, and it's such a pleasure to get to know you. And thank you for trusting us to help you produce your show. On a second note, I do want to tout our own horn for the mic is listening. We are actually going to be live on stage at Fan Expo in Dallas, June 17th through the 22nd. I don't know what day we're going to be actually on yet. We're working through the deets on that, but the mic is listening. We'll be up there, and we're going to be talking all sorts of fun things. Obviously, Fan Expo. If you're into comics, if you're into all things sci-fi, anything cool. I mean, gosh, just go. It's cool, it's fun, and you know, I will be able to actually talk to you in person as we're sitting on stage. So if you guys are interested, hit me up. I would love to see everyone there. And on that note, I do want to introduce our guest for today, Tisha Marie Pelletier. I forgot to ask, is it Pelletier?
It is. Pelletier.
And Tisha is the most exciting person I haven't talked to in a long time here, because when we first met, I think it was through JD's group, she looked at me, she goes, "We need to talk." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm not in trouble, am I?" And we just started laughing. And it was just a fun little bonding little group. But so Tisha Marie Pelletier is a coach. Oops. She's a coach, but I love how you title yourself the Chief Experience Officer. I love that because life is an experience. So, how
Mhm.
did you come up with your title? And, you know, why do you care about helping people create their brand?
First of all, I did not create Chief Experience Officer. I actually stole it from a
Oh,
friend of mine, Steve Ricks. Shout out to Steve Ricks. He's like, I'm the Chief Experience Officer. I'm like, I love it. I love it. I think executive is not really my style. It's kind of boring in my opinion. So experience, and that's really what I aim to do. See, I like experiences in everything that I do, whether it's hosting events, branding or mentoring clients, I want them to come away from that experience like, this was awesome. Like, let's do this again. Let's do it again. So that's where that whole thing came from. And then as far as branding, I love it, and I'll tell you, like, when I created my brand, I literally was kicking and screaming because I didn't want to create the brand. And now I'm like, give me a brand and let's build it. Let's do this together. So it's kind of funny how things work out that way when you're like, I didn't want to, but now I love it. And now I want to do more of it.
You know
So
what's funny? It is something it's almost like you don't know what you don't know. And then once you get a taste of it, you're like, ooh, there's something palatable about this, know? And it's really neat because I think the pandemic really did encourage us to embrace it. I think there's a false sense of what do you call it? Self-promotion, I think.
Yes.
That make people feel like, no, I shouldn't promote myself, or I don't need to, or I don't want to, because I don't want to come off as being, no one wants to be thought of as like being a selfish,
right,
vain person, right?
Yeah.
So, no. But hey, we're all vain. And we think this song is about us.
Probably, yeah.
I'll reference like song lyrics all day long, so just bear with me here, Tisha. So, but I did want to talk about today's theme. Hit me with them good vibes, and it's a lyric from "Sunshine" by One Republic, and as we were talking about a little bit earlier, when I hear people, like, I ask all of our guests, what's your favorite song and what's your, favorite music and all that stuff. This one really resonated with me, and it totally was such a perfect reflection of you. So, I mean, oh gosh, did you like One Republic before that song, or did you like that song and then in turn like One Republic? Like, how did that work?
Oh no. I've been a big One Republic fan. Like, I have it on my playlist, like on Amazon. I'm listening to it all the time. And I remember my family and I were big pickleball players. So we're out there playing family pickleball, got the music blasting, and this song came on and I was like, oh, I love this song. And I didn't even know who sang it, honestly, because I had only heard it like maybe once or twice in my life. And I was like, Caleb, I was asking my son, who sings this song? He's like, duh, One Republic. And I was like, I love this song even more. So I had to throw that on my playlist because I was sharing with you, Sia, that I am like one of those super positive, high energy. I don't drink coffee. I drink decaf because I just can't handle more caffeine in my system. But the whole song, like, hit me with them good vibes. The whole song is named Sunshine. I live in Arizona where there's constant sunshine. I mean, and just even the message, if you listen to it, it's like making more to spend a little bit. Like, if you just listen to the song, it's just so catchy. And I'm like, geez, that's exactly it. That's exactly like my life right now. Right. So that's what I would say. I loved One Republic, and now I love them even more because they created this song.
You know what? I can't help but think it's a summer song.
It's
like a perfect summer song. It's like something where you just, could you imagine like road tripping with your friends, like popping it on and all of a sudden like, woo, like,
it is. It's totally that vibe. Like, I put my sunroof and just, put my hands out the window and
stick your head out the window. I made a joke of who was I talking to, and I was like, I don't know what it is. Oh, I think it was riding the car with my niece, who was in town for the weekend, and I see this dog like sticking his head out the window, or its head in the window, and I was like, oh my gosh! I'm like, oh, I just love that doggy, and I'm like, I know I'm a dog person. Because every time I see a dog sticking their head out the window, I'm like, oh my God, I love it. Now, if I see a child sticking their head out the window, I'm kind of like judging.
Yeah.
So
like, get your head back in that window in the car.
get your hiney back in there. But at the same time, if I see an adult person do it, I'm like, yeah. Like, it's yeah. So at any rate, no, but okay. So I love that positive attitude, and I love. Okay, so you actually say badass on your LinkedIn profile, which I love. So to say the cursey words or not to say the cursey words on LinkedIn, what do you believe, and what do you think, and how do you suggest that for your clients that might be like me, where every other word's usually a cursey word?
You know what? I'm going to say be authentically you. And you saw that even in my headline. It says authentic with a touch of badass. And I'll be honest, I did not come up with that. I always give credit to Sophia Livius, if she's watching, because she was the one that said that to me. She was watching me on a stage. She had followed my journey, finally got to meet me in person, watched me up there on that stage at Phoenix Startup Week. And as soon as I came off the stage, she's like, oh my gosh, first of all, love you, and really you are this girl. And really, I think that that's what started to craft my brand, because I'm
Yeah.
like, sometimes we need to hear from other people what they perceive of us, because we don't see it. It's just like that. I'm too close to my own self that I don't know. I don't see it, right? But if somebody
Yeah.
tells you that every time I see you, this is who I see, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the girl that I need to be. That girl. I want to be that girl. So if I'm like authentic, just if that's all I said, I don't feel like that would be really getting the whole essence of who I am. And when I do show up online, it's the funniest thing. Like even in the things that I say, or the things that I post, or the pictures that I share, people are like, there she goes again. There's that little bit of tinge of badassery. And it's like, that's exactly what I want people to gravitate toward and take away. But if I wasn't being my whole self, Sia, and I was like being very protected, then I don't think people would get that full experience. And so to your point, to that question, I say, if you are that person that's a little badass or edgy, be that person. Because if I meet you in real life and I'm completely blown away because you're not the same person I saw online, it's going to be a very, very big disconnect. Like if you get around me and you're like that online, and then I see you and you're just very like gentle, you don't cuss, you don't say any of these things, you're very just like choosy with your words just to not hurt my feelings, I'm going to be like, where's this other girl? Where was this other girl? Like when I see her, that's what I see. And now I meet you and I'm like, no, not the same person. And that to me is not being true and authentic to yourself.
And I think you bring up such a great valid point on that, because as a podcast producer, oftentimes we're dealing with people who have already spoken with someone like you to say they want to create their personal brand, or quite frankly, there've been some clients where I'm like, you may want to talk to someone on your branding strategy before you come to me, if that makes sense, right? Because I sometimes will see clients that are thinking they need to be something like a Joe Rogan, for example, right? Or they need to be like a whatever. And it's like, your personality, I don't know if it's going to blend itself to it that well. Or the opposite, which is, oh, well, I am this personality, and it's, how should I put this? I'm this personality, and, take it and they'll like it, but don't be overly, like, don't become your own, what do you call it? Caricature of yourself either. If that makes sense, right? Like, so I swear, I have the potty mouth. I get it. I understand. But I also understand not every other word needs to be a potty mouth word, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's such a fine little balance, right? To kind of get to who you are. Because, look, like I said, if you're going to swear, own it. But just know that if you're creating content for kids, perhaps you might want to
you might want to rethink that strategy just a little bit. I think it's just depending on who the audience is, of course.
Right. That is very true. So what are the biggest challenges that you think when you're talking to clients in general? I'm curious to see what you see as far as what's your biggest challenge when you're leading people down that path to figure out what they want to articulate, or what they want to be, represented as. What have you seen?
Girl, confidence all over the place. People come to me, they don't want to be on social media at all. They definitely don't want to be on video. Getting them to get to a photo shoot where they're the focus for 2 hours is just like pulling teeth, and I'm really there to encourage them and say, it's going to be okay. Like, it's going to be okay. Watch, we're going to get through this, and you're actually going to start to love it. Remember I said earlier, like I had to build my brand kicking and screaming because I didn't want to. I was the exact same person. I did not have the confidence. I was actually low on confidence, low on self-esteem, and had to build myself up. So that's what I would say. I would say that it's confidence. The other thing I would say, it's clarity. Most people come to me, and I'm going to say the exact same thing. I was definitely known as the Jill of all trades. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been called Jill of all trades. And I remember my good friend Nat, he's like, Tisha, that's not a compliment. That's not a compliment. And I had to check myself because he was right. I was focusing my energy on way too many things. I didn't have it boiled down. And another friend of mine, I have all of these great mentors in my life, friends of mine who just ask me the hard questions that I just need to really, I need to discover this. And she asked me, like, if you had to do 1 or 2 things in your life, the only things that you could do, what would you be doing? And I said, hands down, professional speaking and mentoring. And it
Love it.
really identified what it is that I love. What was my purpose? What was my passion? I'm very big into empowering, especially other entrepreneurs, to get out there and make their vision happen. And I'm very big action taker, like, let's not just keep talking about this. Let's actually move. Let's do these things together. And it really started to create the programs that I'm doing now and how I'm helping people and so on. But I think that if you are just like, I'm in all these directions and I just keep doing more and more and more, I'm going to ask you to get really clear and really define what's the thread, what's the commonality between all the things that you keep doing, because that essentially is your purpose.
That's it.
Essentially why you do the thing. Your operating system. This is why you do the things that you do. It's ingrained in you. And
you literally said the why. Like, and I know everyone's like, oh, okay, Simon Sinek, but it's the truth. It's because it is your fuel source, right? Because if you're going to do anything in life, it's because something internally in you said, that's a value to me. I'm going to do it. So if you want to jump out of that plane, that's a value to you. You have at it, boo. You do you, right?
Yeah.
But it's also that it's going to spur you on, because anytime we do anything, how many times and I've said this so many freaking times, but it's true. Life happens. We have a partner, we have a spouse, we have children, we have dogs, we have animals, whatever that you have to tend to before your own personal life. And then when you have to wake up in that morning, and maybe we don't have a sunshine song in our head first thing in the morning, and we're just kind of like miserable, as life will happen. We're not waking up in the positive side of the bed, and we have to say, oh, we got to do X activity, whatever it might be. If you don't have that why in you to say, that's my motivation to do something, then you simply won't do it. That's why so many things when it comes to digital content creation, period, people fade out. People stop doing it, or people resent doing it. That's why I encourage everyone, and I'm sure you'll attest and agree with me on this, is I tell everyone, find your why. And your why is not, I want 1 million downloads or 1 million followers. That's a what? That's to me a KPI. That's what you want to do.
That is. Yeah.
Your why is something that is, you're going to tell yourself why you're doing something and keep asking yourself why until you cry, because that's where you need to get to the root of is your emotional connection to motivate you, to be your grounding root and foundation to spur you on to do everything. So cry.
Don't have to ask me twice. I'd cry. It's so important. I mean, you talked about digital content, and I know there are those people that are like, I just want millions of followers and I need my content to hit this many impressions and this many views. And I'm like, who gives a crap? Like, I'm like, you know what? If I impact one person today, that was my bucket list item. That's what I needed to accomplish. And every day, one person honestly will reach out and say, I really love that. Thank you for writing it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for doing this. Great. Mission accomplished. So I really gave up on the whole, I need to get to this level or this status or this, that. And I'm like, no, I'm living my life. I'm surrounded by good people. I'm always constantly improving and progressing. And I'm around the people that I want to be around.
It's funny. I actually got in an argument with someone about that. They're like, it's all about downloads. It's all about followers. I'm like, you know what? It reminds me of we were and I'll give you a shout out, Jared and crew over at Podcast Movement. They had Ira Glass on, or was it Ira? No, was it Ira? No, it was How I Made This. What's his name? Anyway, How I Made This podcast. Check it out. So they had the host on there, and he's like the quintessential like podcast guy, and he's NPR, so everyone knows him. But his I just loved his perspective. He said, look, I would rather have 1,000 people that I'm talking to in this room that actually knows me, listens to me, follows me, understands me, than 1 million tweeter followers who doesn't listen to the show, doesn't do anything other than, they just recognize my name. And there's some value in that, right? Because just because you have 1 million followers doesn't necessarily mean you're actually influential. That actually will be affecting anything. So I love that you said that, Tisha, because you know what? If that one little smile sets off that one person to have a good day, that's immeasurable, right? And you can only do that if you're authentic to who you are, because I've seen, hell, I give my fake smiles every day. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm joking, but it's true, right? Like if you can give to yourself authentically and that one person it just resonates with, I think it's like, I don't know, it's gold, I guess.
It is. It is. I had a gentleman on LinkedIn just last week, in fact, send me an email with the topic of "I love your profile statement." Going
Mm.
back to that whole authentic with a touch of badass. And you remember how I just said there's two things that people struggle with. It's confidence and it's clarity. That's why they come to me, because they're confused and they're all over the board and they're like, I know I need a brand, but I have no idea what the heck I'm supposed to do with this. Right? That's why they come to me, because they're struggling with it, but they know it's the one thing that they can control. It's the one thing that can sustain them throughout all of the ups, downs, and whatever the heck we're going to go through next.
Mm.
Right. And so in this message, she's like, I think you were the person, and he's from Dallas, in fact, to give me clarity and help me to figure out my purpose. And so he
Ooh.
actually booked a call with me and we're scheduled to start working together. But that was off of LinkedIn. He never really reached out to me before, but something in my profile or something in my content made him resonate with that he took the next step.
Mm. I love that. Look, and if you can, the idea of, first off, it's not hard to do. You and me talking right here, right now, is not hard to do. Now,
Nope.
this, in all fairness, certain personality types will gravitate more than others. I get that, but just because you're an introvert, for example, doesn't necessarily mean you can't do what we're doing. And thank goodness that we've got the technology and tools that you can treat this like a freaking Zoom call. Okay,
Yeah.
Zoom, you should pay me for that promotion, but I'll say stream. I'll give StreamYard a
StreamYard.
shout out.
StreamYard.
StreamYard. But here's the whole thing: is this tool is being recorded no matter what. Whether you choose to share it is entirely up to you. But you could be chill as all get out, which, by the way, some of the best podcasters I know are thoughtful, intentional, would be considered introverts, but yet I'm riveted by them.
Mhm.
I'll listen to them all day long, right? You don't need to have someone like me who's like cheerleader jazz hands every day. You know what I mean? You know, granted, jazz hands are cool.
Jazz hands are pretty cool.
But that being said, I think that's the joy of it, right? The ability that we can have those moments and share with each other. And thank you, by the way, LinkedIn user. And I don't know why I'm trying to chat at the same time and it's freezing on me.
It's multitasking. Yeah, great comments coming in. And thank you, LinkedIn user. I appreciate that.
It's Lee. I think that must be your friend, Lee? Marla?
Lee. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Shout out. And of course, Bettina, we know we got you, girl. Like, I love you. You were just so funny. She's like, ha.
I know. It's got the LOLs going.
I know.
Bettina,
but that's the whole thing. But that's the whole thing, though, too. It's like, so I live stream, okay? And you guys, full disclosure, the reason why I live stream, I'm a podcast producer. I do this for my clients, but this is a personal project. So that's why there's a lot of imperfection in the production. I don't have our sound engineer on this. It's really more for me I call it a vanity project, okay? But it's also a reinforcement. You don't have to have a perfect production in order to go live stream. You don't have to have a perfect production in order to have a pre-recorded if you want to and get up and out there. I think we are very forgiving as people that I think we expect imperfection. Do you see that as well? Like, Tisha, like, do you see that? Are people expecting that they need to be perfect before they can push any kind of content up and out?
Yeah, they do. Especially, I would say that for the people that I work with on personal branding. Remember I said their confidence is lacking, so they don't want to do video. They don't want to be on camera. They don't want to even have pictures taken of themselves. Like, that's the true story. I had a client who it took 6 months to get her in front of just a camera. And when we took those personal brand photos, she's like, please point me to the side because I just don't like this midsection. Please, like, don't have it look like this. And I was like, girl, we got you. We got you. We're going to make you look good, but you also have to look good, feel good, be good about yourself, right? And we can always take photos later. We can always do that. But if we keep waiting for the perfect time, what's that saying? The perfect time will never get here. So I was like, take the damn photo. Let's do this. And by the end, she's like, I love them. I love what I look like. I'm like, I've been sharing that with you for so long. You will love this process.
It's almost like by allowing these pictures to take place, you're allowing to be seen the way other people see you. Right. It's interesting because You don't realize, like, that, look, by the way, I have RBF. Like, if I'm not consciously trying to smile for you right now, I will look like they're like, oh, she's mad. Why is she mad? You hungry? Like, I literally have resting bitch face, like total. And I'm cognizant of the fact that there are times when people think I'm mad at them, and I'm like, I'm not even thinking about you. Like, no, I'm just looking at you with a face.
with a face.
I'm not even looking at you half the time. And I think that's a big thing to think about as well, though, is,
Yeah.
you do have to be a little bit aware of that, but you don't have to be inauthentic. And I think that's a critical part of it, right? Yeah, I'm smiling, but I am genuinely smiling. It's not just I'm doing the kid smile face,
Yeah. Yeah. You asked a great question though of the whole perfection thing. And first of all, to everybody listening, I think perfection is just overrated. Overrated. I mean, Tia and I were just talking about this in the green room of, hey, if my mic goes out, if my camera goes out, I will come back in, because we both had that happen. There's always been times where tech didn't work out, or we weren't feeling it, but we just did it. Like it is what it is. It is what it is. So I don't subscribe to the whole perfection, because I don't really think it exists. I definitely don't think it exists. So no, I think you just go with it. Like I was sharing, I'm like, I'm a girl that just rolls with the punches. Whatever happens, happens. I've been on stages where my slides never showed up and I just had to wing it. It is what it is. Like, it is what it is. And you're going to get through it, and you're going to do it. You're going to just get up there and do it.
So I love telling this story, and it's not really my story. It's actually my business partner's story. So so her name's Erin Greger, and she, like, I love her because she's like one of those entrepreneurs that, like, she constantly pushing herself, like constantly pushing herself. So she put out an event called Entrepreneur Summit, and one of the years she got Robert Herjavec to join, and he's the one of the Shark Tank guys, right?
Yeah.
And it's her own personal event. She's doing it all by herself, like a crazy person. And the the video that was supposed to play to walk him in, like, broke. Something went wrong. It wasn't playing. And so she was freaking out, because you got someone that's high profile like him, that is used to high end, ABC, NBC, whatever production. I don't remember what channel those shows are on. But she looked at him and she's like, oh my God, it's not playing. And he looked at her, totally chill, goes, it happens. I'll go out. And she was freaking out because she thought he'd be a diva, because the previous two speakers, they had other AV issues going on, and one of them pitched a fit. One of them pitched a massive fit, going, this is so unprofessional, blah, blah, blah. So she's freaking out. She didn't care about that particular speaker, but she cared about him because he's such a high profile. And he was so gracious. He was so like, it happens. It's cool. It's all good. And it doesn't matter. And I think that's where having humility too is another facet of being that authentic self too, where you're like, all right.
I remember one of my first live streams. So I also host a live stream on StreamYard. Shout out to StreamYard. And I remember I'm in Arizona. First of all, it does not really rain that much here. But on this particular day, it was hailing right outside my window. So you could hear it. I have my earbuds in and I was speaking louder because I can hear it. It was the funniest thing, is people were like, Tisha, we can still hear you. Because I'm like, does everybody hear me?
Like, yeah, our ears are blown out now.
It was just so funny. But I was like, there is a damn hailstorm going on out here in Arizona. Like, it's just so silly. So I'm like, I got it all. I have a boxer. I have a 70-pound boxer. Aww. And he can open the dang door. Like, he opens my office door all the time, even though I say don't disturb on my office door. I'm live streaming.
Oh, honey, like, let me tell you, like, I can't tell you how many times I'll be live streaming. And so my office here is upstairs, and we've got this, like, I call it a glorified Christmas tree stand. It's 6 feet by 6 feet. Okay. So our house is kind of like a turret. So it's a really weird shape, and it overlooks the entry, and there's no door. So literally, as I'm talking, everyone in the house can hear me because it's an open floor plan, and it goes into the entryway, and it echoes, and it annoys my boyfriend to death because he's like, I hear you. And like, there are days where I'm live streaming, having a conversation, and all of a sudden I can just hear this little voice echoing, going, no way, really? And then responding back. And I'm like, you know, and I'm trying to ignore it, right? But I can just hear this mocking voice coming back at me. So I hear you on that.
Oh my
You really just
gosh.
distracted me on that. But that's so funny though. But hailstorms though in Arizona, I'd be like, hey guys, if I'm gonna duck and cover, just a heads up.
I know.
Just an FYI.
You know what? But I gotta give myself and my guests kudos because we just kept it going. We were like, okay,
Yeah.
freaking hailstorm going on. We're just gonna make it work. Make this work, get through the time that we have, crush it, go on with our lives, you know? So that's the thing. So everybody on here that's like, I can't do it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So it's all in your head, right? It's all in your head. Like you can do this.
100% in your head. And it's usually way worse than what it actually is. Okay, can I just tell you, this is a whole side conversation going on. It's
I
cracking me
know.
up and it's
I'm
distracting
seeing
me
it.
like
I'm
crazy.
seeing it.
But you guys do have a point, which is this though too. If you're gonna do that photo shoot and you know your side, own that side. Like
Own it.
Ariana Grande, it like this is my side, and you will only take a picture of that side. It's cool. Roll with it because you know what? It shows. It shows when you're like, I'm feeling this one, and everyone
Yeah.
sees it, right?
That's it. Actually, my photographer gives that really great tip of selfie yourself. Before you get on that photo shoot, figure out what is the side that you like? What's your hair part look like?
Yeah.
Right? Make sure that you're comfortable, whatever God gave you right now. Like just make sure that you're comfortable with the side that you want and just request that of the photographer. You know what? This is my best side. I'd like it if we can take more shots like this. So they understand this is a communication piece. This
Yeah.
is you and that photographer communicating, you know, so that you show up as your best self.
A good photographer. I need to get some of my old friends back on here. A good photographer can really get the vision in your eye. Like a good photographer, you could see the smile in the eye, smile or whatever the heck, what's her name said. But yeah, you can literally see the glisten, the little personality just from the look in the eyes. It's again an art form I have nothing but profound respect for. Another area where I know I've been told not to take pictures of people because I just aim and shoot and it's like, you know, half your head's cut off and whatever.
No feet.
Like, look, people, this multitasking, you want me to push it and like look through the front like at the same time? That's a lot of work. But okay, Tisha, you and I can be talking about this all day long. And I love the fact that it's really have fun with yourself ultimately, right? If you're trying to get that confidence within yourself to build what that word authenticity really means. I know it's a big buzzword, but it is soul searching. So parting thoughts, any words of wisdoms you want to share here that, you know, is going to help people kind of like figure out how they create their own personal brand?
Absolutely. So I really subscribe to, and I created this whole 7 P's of personal branding. And I have a free guide if anybody's interested in that. But honestly, I think that so many of us, we just jump to, I got to get on social media. I just got to put myself out there. But I'm always going to say, hey, remember marketing? Remember like building your business? Like we have to start at the very bottom. We have to really lay the foundation. And for personal branding, that foundation is you. That's the self-discovery piece that so many of us miss. It is what do you love? What brings you joy? What are the things that you love to do? Like we need to create all of those things because so many of us just want to straight up go to, this is what I do for my profession. And I'm like, boring. Give me something else that I don't know about you.
Yeah.
So I'll share this, Sia. You probably even saw this post. Back on April 28th, it was National Superhero Day. I posted a picture of me wearing a Wonder Woman shirt. And I was headed to my daughter's 4th grade field trip at the Musical Instrument Museum. And I was like, people, tell me what your superpower is because I need entertainment on the bus ride. And I can't tell you, that was like a post that went viral, in my opinion, had so many people responding, so many people shooting me pictures of their own superhero outfits.
I love it.
And I was like, that is what I post. That's what I share. It had nothing to do with my business. But it started to create relationships that then got into business. So that's what I'm going to share with you as my last tip is a personal brand is personal. It's not a professional brand. It's a personal brand. So you've got to start incorporating you into that brand so people get a sense of who you are. Because if they like you, they trust you, they feel comfortable and confident around you.
Yeah.
Who knows what happens next?
Oh my gosh. You literally took the words out of my head because I was like, people do business with people they know, like, and trust, and they are not going to do that if you're going to always have a facade on. No, I love it. Okay, so Tisha, so for those that want to get a hold of you, how else can they get a hold of you outside of your website,
Sure.
tishamarieEnterprise.com?
Well, Sia, I met you on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. You can find me there just at my name, Tisha Marie Pelletier. If you are connecting with me, tell me you saw this on the podcast. That's how we connected. So I know nothing drives me crazier, Sia, than people that just connect. And I'm like, where did I meet this person? Do I know this person? I don't know if I know this person. So you'll actually sit in my inbox for probably several months because I don't know that I should connect with you yet.
Oh, I love that. No, it's great advice.
Yeah. You want to stand out? Take the 2 seconds, write a little message. Hey, I saw you on Sia's podcast. I'd love to meet up with you. Awesome. You just went to the front of the line, my friend. Like, that's how we connect. That's how connections get started. That's where the magic really happens. So the other people just patiently waiting.
And if I may add to this, because I can keep on talking, don't freaking pitch me on your first email to me. Hey, Sia, would you like more help with podcasts? It's like,
duh. I do this for a living. I do it for a living.
Or even better, would you like someone to produce your podcast for you? I'm like, that's really fascinating. You did not look at my profile at all.
No.
And that's what that, yeah, no. I know. So there are days I get more persnickety than others. I try to be a gentle person, but there are days where I'm like, nope.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to send it to you. I got pitched pretty hard, actually on a Zoom call. So it wasn't even in the DMs. Oh, here's my best part about it. The DM was coming from the person's VA, and she was very proud of having her VA pitch me and getting me onto a call. I get on the call with her and she pitched me like crazy. She actually said it was like being on Shark Tank. And I said, oh, this is like Shark Tank. Like, she just fired tons of questions at me. So, you know me, like, I'm going to take this as a lesson. And I created a whole video around pitch slapping. And that actually went quite viral too at the beginning of the year. And I'm like, I just want to send this to people who do that to me. Hey, I have a little message for you. Here it is. Send it.
That's funny. I started doing this and I feel kind of bad because a lot of those folks there are many folks that are actually foreign, right? Like and I get that, but I did create a graphic that literally, do you remember like Bart Simpson? He's like writing on the chalkboard, I will not do whatever. So I actually created one that says, I will not pitch someone on my first email or my introduction email. And I did it over and over again. I actually started taking that image, and anyone that pitch slaps me, I just reply back with that.
Yes. Bold.
And I'm done. Like, and if you don't get it, then sorry, it's all good. Like, we're good.
Hey,
yeah, no, that was my passive aggressive way of responding. How about that? But oh my gosh, Tisha, we can keep talking about like anything and everything. So I'd love in the future, if you are ever bored, you're always welcome to come back. I really appreciate you.
Have you on Tisha Talk soon too.
Oh, I would love to. I'd love to. So everyone, you guys, please go connect, but have some value. All right, as to why you want to connect, but also again, share a little bit of yourself. I think that makes absolute sense. And gosh, I don't want this to end. So I'm like, no, I don't want to say it. So everyone, please hit up Tisha, check her out. And by the way, she is live streaming. Let me just do this, boop, boop, and this coming this Friday, Mastering the 5 Secrets of Genuine Influence. So talk to me about Bob Burg. Who is this Bob Burg?
Oh my goodness. Bob Burg is one of my favorite people on the planet. Bob Burg is the author of the Go-Giver series. If you've ever read any of the Go-Givers, it's like my Bible, honestly. It's how I do business on that authentic level. And Bob, I connected with him on LinkedIn. He's been a guest a couple of times. We're talking about his book, The Go-Giver Influencer, and he's talking about mastering the 5 secrets of genuine influence. So definitely check it out. It is being recorded if you miss it, but he is just an amazing rock star. He has his own Go-Giver community that I'm also a part of. If you're looking to meet people that are very similar people, you want to be around other Go-Givers, also in business, I would definitely hit that up. So yeah, thanks so much for sharing.
No worries. Of course, that's what I'm all about. So got a couple of other last things here. So thank you for joining, and just want to do some housekeeping thing real quick. So as everyone knows, I am the Dallas co-chair of the Global Leaders Organization. Oh, there's Aaron. There we go. My business partner. And as I say this every time, Glow is committed to community, commerce, capital, content. Legit. We are really eager to help everyone as an entrepreneur grow their own community, their network, help them with their business. We're all about that. And if you don't have one in your city, hit us up, or you have questions, let us know. There's a great online presence as well for those internationally. If you just want to chat with those that you might want to do business with internationally. And then, of course, shout out to my own business, Innovation Media Enterprises. Everyone has a story to tell. Do it with a podcast. We are a podcast consulting, strategy, production, marketing agency. We will work with you to get your voice out there, however it works for you. And of course, folks like Tisha, who has the ability to help you get your authentic voice out, to give you that confidence, that boost, such that a podcast might be able to make sense for you. Hit us both up. We're happy to help you. Tisha, thank you so much for joining the Mic is Listening. I guess we're going to have to wrap up this week's episode.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was such a pleasure being here. And thanks so much to all the viewers watching it live or on the replay. Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much.
And hit that smash button and hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification button. That's the one where everyone's like, I don't know whenever you're on. It's like, hit the notification and you'll always know when I'm on. So You'll always know when Tisha's on as well, guys. So the notification button is what everyone needs to be hitting now. So on that note, guys, have a wonderful rest of the week. And thanks for joining. The Mic is Listening.